Hey guys, Trudy Geneus here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to recession-proof your pantry and your life using Ayurveda. With the current state of the economy, you might be looking for ways to save money and reduce your expenses. One area that can be easily adjusted is your food expenses. Because of the simplicity of an Ayurvedic lifestyle, you can easily save money and recession-proof your pantry by utilizing some of the tips I'm about to share. Okay, so tip number one is to incorporate more plant-based foods. Here on this channel, we always emphasize the importance of eating a balanced and colorful diet. Colorful diet that includes a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. And of course, Ayurveda recommends that as well. So by incorporating more plant-based foods into your diet, you can actually reduce the amount of expensive animal products that you need to purchase on a regular basis. Additionally, plant-based foods are rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals, which will help keep you feeling full and satisfied for longer. If you would still like to eat some meat or fish, that's fine. Just minimize red meat as much as possible for health reasons and stick with organic chicken or fish that weren't treated with antibiotics or farm raised. Also, consider only having meat a few days per week to not just save on money, but to also improve your health. Let's say 30% of the week you can have meat and have plant-based meals for the remainder 70%. In any case, do what works for you. Tip number two is to slowly stock up on staple foods. So we've been hearing a lot about food shortages coming to the US and Canada for the last few years. And although we don't know if and when that's gonna happen, I highly suggest you slowly stock up on staple pantry foods. In Ayurveda, staple foods are those that are affordable, shelf-stable, and easily available, and provide the body with necessary nutrients. These include grains such as basmati rice, brown rice, barley, buckwheat, quinoa, and steel-cut oats, as well as legumes such as black and brown lentils, as well as beans like azuki beans, whole mung beans, and split mung beans. Do this on a budget by shopping in the bulk section of your local health food store. Avoid the larger chain supermarkets like Shoppers, Safeway, Kroger, Giant, and even Whole Foods. Their bulk food sections tend to be overpriced, and the items there, in my experience, are never truly fresh. Also, stock up on root and seed vegetables as well as fruits such as sweet potatoes, carrots, beets, turnips, winter squashes, apples, pomegranates, limes, kombu, as well as wakame. Buy these produce items in bulk from your local farmer's market if possible, and store them at home in a cool, dark place or in the refrigerator. They can last for months if you store them correctly. If you can't find some or all of these items at your local farmer's market, your local health food store is the next best choice, but it might be a bit pricier. If you're buying 10 or more of any one produce item from your local health food store, usually they'll have a bulk discount that you can take advantage of. So check with the customer service desk before you buy. Either way, buying in bulk will help you to reduce costs and be ready in case anything unexpected happens. Lastly, try to get to know the farmers that you see at your local farmers market. Ask them about their farming practices, their harvesting schedule, and the quality of their produce. Check with them on how you can get produce from them in the case that the farmers market is just not there one week. That could happen if there's a lockdown or there's some other unexpected emergency. If you're finding this video helpful so far, drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel so you know when we drop the follow-up video to this one. Tip number three is to plan your meals and create a cooking schedule. One of the key tips for recession-proofing your pantry using Ayurvedic principles is to plan your meals and create a cooking schedule. The first step to doing this is to write down a weekly meal plan. So take some time to think about what meals you want to prepare for the next week ahead. This should include breakfast, lunch, dinner, and any Ayurvedic desserts that you'd like to make. Write down each meal and the ingredients that you'll need, and take inventory of the things that you already have in your pantry and in your refrigerator. So make sure that they're all fresh, and that way you can know that you'll use these items in your recipes. Now, based on your meal plan, make a grocery list of all the ingredients that you'll need for the week. This will help you to stick to your budget and reduce food waste by avoiding impulse purchases like snacks and other items. Next, you want to make sure that you actually cook. So many of us buy a week's worth of groceries just for it to sit in the refrigerator while we order DoorDash, or Uber Eats. That is unacceptable when you're recession-proofing your pantry and your life. It's time to get it together. So get off your phone at night, go to bed early so you can wake up early, and spend 20 to 30 minutes making yourself some oatmeal, some cooked fruits, or any other breakfast item. You've got the time to cook. You're just making excuses. Lastly, store your food properly. Use food-saving bags to store your root vegetables, your greens, and your refrigerated fruits. This will help you to reduce spoilage. Make sure your vegetables are dry before you zip them up in the food storage bags, or they'll slowly start to degrade. Now, all you have to do is to use it within a reasonable time frame and you're good to go. Most root vegetables and apples will give you up to a month or more of freshness when stored properly in the refrigerator, but greens need to be used within about a week of purchasing them. Tip number 4 is to cook at home. All right, so I know we just talked about this, but let's get into a little bit more detail here. One of the biggest expenses for many people is eating out. And with the cost of food rising by the second, eating out is becoming more and more harder to do. By cooking at home, you obviously save money and control what you put into your body to help you move faster during the week when you've got other things to do. Soak your beans the night before and cook your meals at a time that you know you won't be distracted so you can get everything done quickly. I like to get up early and get all my cooking out of the way. It takes me about 2 hours to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I cook breakfast in one pot, and then lunch and dinner are cooked in 3 pots, but simultaneously. Ayurveda actually recommends cooking fresh meals right before eating them. But for a modern approach to eating, #FreshFoodDaily, you can also just cook everything in the morning the way I do. Or you can use an Instant Pot. If you're using an Instant Pot, just make sure you're cooking your vegetables separately on the stove so that they don't overcook in the Instant Pot. Also, take a weekend and organize your kitchen so that you can easily find and access things to reduce the amount of time that it takes you to cook. Ayurveda encourages cooking with fresh ingredients and avoiding processed foods as much as possible. This keeps you healthy and, of course, recession-proofs your pantry and your life. Tip number 5 is to invest into herbs and spices. In Ayurveda, we use a variety of herbs and spices to enhance the flavor and the medicinal properties of our food. Some of my go-to spices are cumin seeds and cumin powder, coriander seeds and coriander powder, fennel seeds, turmeric powder, fresh turmeric, ginger powder, ajwain, caraway seeds, oregano, thyme, basil, and asafoetida. These are some examples of spices that you can add to your cabinet that are affordable and extremely healing. You can find maybe 60% of these spices in the bulk section of your health food store, but specialty spices like asafoetida, ajwain, fenugreek, and black cumin seeds will need to be purchased online. Just be sure to get an organic one. I got a big bag of organic fenugreek seeds from Amazon for like $6. In the grocery store, I would have spent the same amount for a jar that is quarter the size of the bag that I got. And I've had it for about 6 months now, and I'm only halfway through the bag. So that's an example of how much you can save. Now, fresh herbs are best purchased at your local farmer's market or at your local health food store. I like to buy the actual herb plants and let them grow on my windowsill. Just make sure you water them from the bottom generously, but also from the top. And you have to do this regularly or they will die on you. Tip number 6 is to reduce food waste. Ayurveda emphasizes the importance of using every edible part of the food and not wasting it. This means using vegetable scraps to make broth or adding them to a compost bin and eventually bringing them out to your garden or to a local compost drop-off. Another great way to reduce food waste is to cook just what you need for the day, no more and no less. About 1/8 cup of any lentil is usually enough for one serving for one adult. So if you're cooking lunch and dinner for 2 adults, so can cook a 1/2 cup of lentils and cook 1 cup of rice or other grains to go with it. About 1 to 2 cups of root vegetables and 2 to 3 cups of greens will be enough for 2 adults to go with that. So plan to make that much instead of making a whole bunch of food that may end up sitting in your refrigerator and going to waste. Or you might want to eat it the next day, but by then it will have very little prana left, meaning life force. So avoiding eating leftovers as much as possible is recommended. But in the case where you cook a little bit too much or you end up eating a little bit less than you planned, feel free to eat the leftovers the next day if you feel okay about it. Just don't make a habit out of that, and your stomach will thank you. By incorporating Ayurvedic principles into your life, you can recession-proof your pantry and your life by reducing your expenses and ensuring that you're eating a healthy and balanced diet. By incorporating more plant-based foods, stocking up on staple foods, planning your meals, and creating a cooking schedule, as well as cooking at home, investing into herbs and spices, and reducing your food waste, you will prepare for any unexpected turns that the economy might take and any potential shortages that the grocery stores might have. For the full written blog, check the description box below, as well as any accompanying links. And remember, Ayurveda is all about personalization. So if you're struggling with meal planning or figuring out what to eat for your body type, definitely reach out to me and book a one-on-one call so you can discover the right meals for your body type and your current imbalances. See you guys next time. Bye.